Smiles for miles. Hello beautiful person who's taken their time out to come over to this page and find out a little bit more about everything that's cracking off. What is all this excitement about? I'm personally super grateful that you've taken time to come here and learn a little bit more about everything that's happening with my journey to Argentina. So I'm Latifa, nice to meet you if we haven't met before. And again, I have got mountains of gratitude that you're here and you want to find out more and maybe support me in some way for my trip. So thank you very much. So I'm just going to give you a really quick whistle stop bullet point tour about this journey. This is a voyage, insert another word for trip, to Argentina. There's loads more detail below and in and around this campaign about the ins and outs of it, but I just wanted to share with you how I got here, my passion for this, what God's been saying to me, what God's been saying about this whole adventure, and some ways maybe you can help me out. I've got my cup of tea ready to go. This is not warm. So where did this all begin? Well, like a lot of people in the summer of 2020, I spent an inordinate amount of time by myself on park benches. This wasn't a new thing, but there was this one particular day where I received a very strong word, a very strong instruction from God, and it's something that up to that point I'd never received with such strength and clarity before. And he said to me that my time in Sheffield had come to an end and it was time for me to go and to move on. And as it stands right now on this very day, I'd lived in Sheffield for nearly 6 years, so a really significant amount of time, the good portion of my 20s, and I'd experienced and have experienced a lot of growth spiritually, personally, and a lot of huge changes for me that, have kind of equipped me, I think, for the next step of my life. And God was saying, you know, this has been your nest for now, and now it's time to fly like a bird, because birds are not supposed to stay in nests. It made me nervous because it was sort of completely out of the blue, and I wasn't intending on leaving. I'm quite comfortable, actually. Really comfortable, but you know, I don't think that's what we're called to be, is comfortable. So yeah, he said it was time to go, but where, Lord, where oh where? And it took a few more weeks for that to become apparent to me, which surprised me because I don't think, whilst I heard the word that it was time, my time was kind of up there, I wasn't expecting such a quick, I guess, turnaround into having somewhere to go, being called somewhere specifically, because that could have been 2 months, 2 years, 5 years. And throughout this whole process, I'm really submitting to God's will and what He has to say, because, you know, He's in charge. And it's been a huge journey of obedience for me up to this point. And so, by His huge grace, I heard within a few weeks very clearly that Argentina was the place for me to go. So that's where I'm going to go. And I'm really excited to go there. Really excited. He has given me His heart and His passion for this culture and this community and this country that really could only come from Him. Because as I say before, I had no self-desire to go there. I'd never been there. But I can truly say, like, I really understand what we mean when we talk about God giving us His heart for things and His compassion for things and His yearning for things. And so I have a level of excitement that is incomparable to most things about this country and about the people in this country, and I can't wait to get there. So what am I going to be doing there? I've been privileged to be linked up with a couple who live in Cordoba, which is a city that is right here in Argentina, which is right here in the world. This couple are called Germán and Karina. So Germán and Karina live with their family in Cordoba, and they're part of a church community there called La Gracia de Cristo. And they kind of found their way to me, really, through Kate Register, if you know her, wonderful lady. They chatted to me, asked me kind of what my thoughts were, and all I really knew at that point was it was important for me to go there. And I knew that part of that was for me to experience and to get to know the culture and to scout the place out, really. But they said to me, well, we'd be really excited to have you come and stay with us, come and be a part of our community. and we have some places that you can maybe help us out and get involved. And those places were within their worship, get involved with their worship team. Just get entrenched in how they worship there, which I'm sure is very different to how we do it here. I'm sure there's lots for me to learn and some things for me to maybe give as well. And with their youth work. So they are very excited for me to get linked in with their youth work in their church, but also with the wider youth work community in the province of Cordoba. So Cordoba is a city in the wider province of Cordoba. And I personally was like, my mind was blown because those are my things. Like, we all have our things, and these are my things. So I was just like, thank you, Lord. Wow, and just another really clarifying moment for me that, like, this is what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to go. And so, in preparation for this trip, I've been learning Spanish to the best of my ability, which is a difficult task to do in a northern English city, let me tell you. But I've really given it my best shot, and I've loved the language. I've fallen in love with the language. I've taken a lot of time out to get to understand the culture from where I am, research it, talk to as many Argentine people as I can find. I've put a lot of effort into making a lot of contact with as many people as I can in Argentina, so that I have people that I will know before I get there. And so I've made contact with a lot of people in Buenos Aires, which is the capital city, in Cordoba as well, which is really exciting, and I feel really thankful that I've been able to do that. So yeah, I'm just so filled to the brim with excitement. If you know me, this has been a long time coming. I've been very slowly leaving for about 18 months now, having to deal with a lot of issues with getting on flights because of the pandemic and XYZ. So I'm really, really excited that we've got to a point now I'm going to actually be able to go. And I will be going for 3 months initially. So this is the kind of time frame that I'm looking at. And I'm very expecting that I'm going to come back with a lot to share, a lot of exciting testimony to share for myself. I think it's important for me that I also spend time listening, hearing, kind of taking things in as well. I don't think that this is just a case of me going somewhere and I have things to give. I think there's a lot of opportunity for me to learn and for me to receive as well from God, so I'll put time aside for that. So we're looking at 3 months, and then we'll see what happens, see what God says about it. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to come and to hear a little bit more about what's happening. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. And if there's any way you can support me, any way whatsoever, prayer, financially, any top tips you have about Argentina, I am ready to receive with an open and really, really grateful heart. So yeah, bless you so much, and thank you once again.